podcast, baby. See, there it is. I didn't have the energy right. I snapped back into it. Welcome to the Vibe Union podcast, the only podcast that tucks you in because you got a big day tomorrow.
I'm good, thank you, Rye.
Fantastic. Yep. I'm also good. We're joined by Amutha.
Hello, guys. How we doing?
Never better.
Yes.
Very
Not
good.
once in my life have I been better than right now.
This is the peak of my
Pinnacle.
reality.
It's only downhill
Yes,
from here.
Exactly. Before we get started, though,
Huge shout out to Radio Bar.
Massive.
I just want to acknowledge the custodians of the land, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. It's very important to acknowledge and understand that we come here and we are conducting ourselves on stolen land. Sovereignty has never been ceded. Treaties never been signed. We're very lucky to come here and talk and hang out and just chill and be happy to a degree. We're on, when there's still a lot of work we have to do to reconnect with First Nations people, and we're just lucky to be here on land that isn't ours. We are forever visitors upon this earth. And also I just want to acknowledge the Palawa people of Lutruwita, which is the First Nations people of Tasmania, where I unfortunately grew up.
Speaking of peaking.
Ooh, yeah.
We're basically the same age, aren't we? We're pretty.
I think so.
You're 30?
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit older than me, in fact.
Oh. Well, there you go.
But nonetheless, who
21.
feels like they're really is only on the up from their mid-20s. 30s are so far.
Yeah.
Way better.
Look, I have to say, I was thinking about this the other day. Like, I remember being in primary school. Oh no, okay.
We'll go around.
Sorry, not my turn yet.
I can't wait.
No, it's all downhill for Jason.
I remember being in like primary school, high school, and just everyone's trying to like harp into you that like it's gonna get more difficult. You're gonna have more responsibilities. I have so few responsibilities in my life. Basically, just put food in your mouth and rest every day, and that's about it. So I'm chilling. I love getting old.
I think us three are really good at avoiding as many responsibilities as humanly possible.
Yes.
Yes, but like in a healthy way.
Completely avoiding them as we understand that they are unnecessary burdens.
Right.
Sometimes are unavoidable for many, but we're very privileged in the way that we can just cruise through life, smashing brewskis
Paying
and
off a
making
mortgage
tunes.
because we all have bought a house.
Yeah, exactly.
We were born in the right time.
Tell us, Jason, what's your little experience? I need to know.
What? Just in my 30s?
Yes.
How do you feel?
Oh, up and down. It's
Up and
good.
down.
Yeah. 30. Well, how old am I? 33 now. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Actually, speaking on that, then the
Ups and downs.
the up and downs, Nate, the up
Ebbs
and
and
downs,
flows.
kind of then leads
Trials,
into your
tribulations.
topic that you want to talk about.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, this is something that I've had a chat about with multiple people recently, which is, you're walking through life, you're starting to do really well in terms of your mental health. You're like, hey, I didn't get triggered with that anxiety response in the same way that I usually do. Or, hey, like I woke up this morning and instead of doom scrolling, I just got out of bed. So you're like, damn, I'm starting to evolve as a person. What? And then you climb, and then maybe what happens with me is like, I'm like, okay, I'm all good. So then that means I can meditate less or do my mindfulness stuff less.
Yeah, right.
And then I drop the ball on that stuff, and that's when stuff piles up again. And then I get frustrated because then I eventually dip. It's not as hard as I usually do, but I still dip. And as soon as I dip, I'm like, wait, I thought I was past this. I thought this was over.
But do you think it's 2 steps forward and 1 step back? Or do you think it's always just this little sidestep shuffle on the spot?
I mean, it has to be.
A little
It has
like
to
a
be.
country town jig kind of thing.
I feel like it has to be 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Because, like,
Okay.
I guess if you're shuffling, then you're never going anywhere. And I feel like I'm going somewhere.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Yeah, I guess so.
But then is it? Okay, I guess I'm thinking like going in with this idea of like the ebb and flow, the constant nature of repetition, and things get better, but things get worse. Different things crop up that I like the idea of like it's just a movement forward, but it's not necessarily like you're climbing this. It's getting out of the ladder mentality or the stairway mentality of like I'm heading up to some sort of
You're gyrating
nirvana.
up there. Yeah.
I'm just like moving in some direction,
Okay.
you know, but
Yeah.
it's not like
In some direction.
it's not like grind mindset. It's not trying to convert your mental health into a thing that you need to conquer and make insanely productive and, you know,
Right.
it's not like just trying to XP gain just to get to the ultimate level.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there is no ultimate. I mean, the ultimate level is death. I think you can't really surpass that
That's
level.
peak.
That's peak.
That's peaking.
Once you get there, it's like, where
When
do you
I'm
go?
on my deathbed, I really want to go, I'm peaking! I'm peaking!
Remember me.
Remember me at my
And
peak.
then, yeah, on your
I'm-
tombstone, just I'm peaking.
No, just on Tombstone. Reached maxed XP.
Yeah.
Uninstalled. Max XP reached. Yeah. Done. I like that. Well, I was just thinking, you're saying like meditating and doing that kind of stuff, and then you're like, well, I've done that now and I'm all good. And then it's
I'm
just,
fixed.
And then it's like, hang on, I was doing those things and it was getting to me to this point. So you're like, well, yeah, I'll just stop now. And then, but then obviously, yeah, it helps to a degree. But then I don't know if something, I'm like, there's a pipe burst in your house. You're not going to be like, give me a second. I'm just going to
Well,
go.
see, this
Yeah.
is the thing, though,
okay,
right?
Okay.
I feel like if you're already in the habit of mindfulness, presence, whatever you want to call it, scenario A, you've been meditating, okay? Your pipes burst. You look at the pipe and you're like, I am peaking. And you let it, you just like, all right, I know exactly what to do right now. I'm thinking quite clearly. This is a shit situation, but it's okay. I'm going to do A, B, C, D. Scenario B, super frustrated, peaking downward. And you see the pipe, no peak, troughing.
Yeah, troughing.
Troughing. So you're troughing.
See, our grind mindset ebook is peaking and troughing.
And you see this burst pipe, all you're going to do is swear at the pipe for like 15 minutes and then be like, what do I do? Who do I call?
Flex
and
tape.
there we go.
Flex
And
tape.
then you use flex tape
100%.
and then it bursts like the next week. So, you know, much like your mental health, you can't put a Band-Aid over a broken pipe. You got to really get someone in there to repair it.
You got to dig some trenches. You got to lay some
You
pipe.
do. Yeah.
Don't.
Can any of us think of a recent situation where
We laid pipe.
we did not approach a situation like that with mindfulness and we just lost our fucking shit?
Oh, every day in the car.
Oh, okay, yeah, right.
About an hour and a half ago.
Okay, great. I've been cruising. I'm
Oh,
pretty good.
we'll go to the car.
Let's go to the car.
and then we'll go
mean,
to my
look,
daily.
I can't even give you a specific. It just happens on the daily. Like
You're just a menace on the road.
I'm not the menace.
That's what they. That's what people road rage say. Yeah.
I just, you're sitting in your car, you're driving along, you can see. Okay, this is literally something that actually happened just now as
Here we
I was
go.
driving here.
Beautiful.
And
This has
so,
been bubbling.
and this is the thing. I'm doing well right now. I'm feeling good. So
Yeah.
this is scenario A. I've been mindful, and I'll tell you scenario B. So I've been mindful. I'm driving along, like just back to back chock-a-block traffic. I see this Mazda, who's behind a van in the lane next to me, just like licking the butthole of this poor van.
Keep
I'm
talking.
like, what do
keep
you
talking.
what do you
I'm
want this
thinking.
van to do, man?
Audio.
Yeah.
Audio.
We're all in
No,
the same boat.
For your audio listeners?
what's sexual attraction to cars?
Oh.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even.
Mecanophiles, I think. Anyway.
Mecanophiles.
There we go.
Anyway.
It sounds like
This is-
a dope like
Anyway.
2000s kids show.
This
Anyway, yes, you saw
was a
some
major
car on car.
mechanophile. Car on car action. Mazda's like riding up on here. Van is just like, I don't know what you want me to do.
I
I'm
didn't consent to this.
I didn't consent to viewing this. It's in the next lane. I'm driving.
Yeah.
So
There's children around.
there's so many kids around in other cars. And now there's this tiny gap that appears right in front of me. I know that this is an unreasonable request of this Mazda, but he's going to try and get in.
Yeah.
Immediately switches on the
Yeah.
indicator and just goes for it.
Mm-hmm.
Now me, being peace, love, relaxation, chilled. I was like, all right,
Uh-huh.
clearly you're going through something.
Mhm.
You just want to get into the quickest lane. So got into my lane, very quickly went into the next lane over, and then went into a slightly faster lane
Mhm.
to get to their destination 2 minutes quicker than me.
Great.
Okay,
Fantastic.
great. Scenario B. I see this happening, and I'm already enraged that this person feels entitled to getting in front of people, and I don't let that person in.
Yeah, nice.
That's the end of the story.
Yeah.
I ride the butt of the person in front of me so this person can't get in. Those are my two ends of the spectrum when I'm driving.
And which did you choose?
I chose A.
Excellent. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
I feel good right
Yeah.
now, but
Yeah.
you know, catch me in a couple weeks time when I'm dipping.
Catch me outside.
There's a I mean, I don't drive, but I get side seat road rage. I'm yelling at people. My partner's chill. She's calmed down a lot. I
Yeah.
think because I get it all out for her
It is
now.
so cathartic to have someone in the passenger seat just yelling.
Yeah, cool.
It makes you feel like, oh, thank
I'm all
God
about it.
someone's here to do that
Yeah,
for me.
I've got the shock horror.
Yeah, I can see.
Road rage. Well, no, it's more that kind of the inconsiderate. It's if I haven't let you in,
Yeah.
it was that kind of thing. I'm just like, just chill, bro.
Yeah.
I get so mad at people just walking down the street. I am, especially in the city, in the CBD. I
Expect
am,
cars to stop and that.
No.
Or just people just
on the sidewalk.
Oh, just
and
people in general. You
just
just don't like the look of them.
meandering about,
Oh.
really taking their time. All my biggest pet peeve of all time is just, I'm just coming out of a shop and I'm really just going to make sure I take up all the sidewalk and
No,
just
it's-
see where are we going to go next.
It's
I'm like,
it's 5 o'clock on like Swanson Street when the mum goes, I need to just check on my child in the pram.
Yeah.
It turns the pram towards that way. Like
Yeah,
goes,
yeah,
I need
yeah,
to do this. And then it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
okay, you're stopped already. So you kind of got that
Yeah.
you're following the footpath, but now
Yeah.
like no, I need to just turn it this
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
Yeah. I think make a little gopher dam. Gophers?
Beaver?
Beaver dam
Beaver.
right here just to make
Gophers
sure
go
that
underground.
the flow is completely stopped.
Mhm.
I am losing my fucking mind. And so I
Mm.
am terrified of one day getting behind the wheel because I know that I'm taking option B every single
or it's
fucking
those
time.
people that try to get on the trains before you get off.
Oh my God. It's pissing me off so fucking much. I mean, I get it. Like, some people are fucking, like, they're tourists and they don't understand.
No, it's mainly it's people that they're just trying to get on to get us. They see a seat
Mm-hmm.
and they see there's a lot of people like, no, I want to get on first. No,
Interesting.
I'm always
Wait.
just like, I've got my headphones in. I'm like,
Fucking
I'm
wait.
just like, thank you very
Yeah.
much, thank you. I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't.
I've seen both of us do it when getting off trams and we can see people are like, they're itching. It's like the same as when people are at the fucking lights and like waiting for that green light and they're just edging forward
Oh.
that little tiny.
Going back to car porn, yeah.
Fucking
Um,
hell,
Yeah.
mate. Do not edge in public. I will not have it. And people waiting at the fucking tram. I'm gonna get in there, and I
Yeah.
mean, I'm a small boy, but I'm trying to make up as much room as I fucking can coming out that door. Like, I'm coming out first. You
Waving
get the
your
fuck
arms
out
around
of the
and
way.
this is,
Well, I'm so sorry.
there we go. It works though.
Yeah,
That's what happens.
I've only ever had
Sounds
once
like you
where
fuck with
I was just trying to get out. This guy was just head down. He was in his own little world,
Yeah.
and he just fucking hip and shouldered each other. And I'm like, well, you're not going to have a go at me because you need to go on this train, and I'm not in the mood.
Yeah.
So I'm like, just let it slide.
Yeah.
But you know,
I was
then
taking
Yeah,
a
that's how I
tram
describe
down
you.
here, down to Radio Bar, like
Yeah.
a year ago probably. And the power of the tram driver was very apparent this day because I'm getting off the tram. As I'm getting off, I'm noticing this dude just being unnecessarily racist towards an Asian lady who's just gotten off. He clearly was not in a good state, but he was like unprompted, like she didn't do anything. She just got off the tram. He's like hurling abuse at her. She's freaking out because she's like, oh my God, what do I do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as soon as he turns around to get on the tram, the door's just shut in his face and the tram driver drives off. And I was like, chef's kiss.
Dude. Nice. I'm scared to like leave. I hope there was no further altercations, like leaving the two at that location. I hope the woman has now
Yeah.
left the scenario, and this guy's
yes.
left in his little shame bubble.
I
of,
think
like,
that he was shocked. He was shocked that he didn't
Yeah.
get in. He started banging, so he got
Yeah.
distracted with that, and she walked away at that point.
there's such a
distracted by racism.
Yes.
It's a very consuming
Isn't it
thing,
beautiful?
I've heard.
I like your thing. Unnecessary. He was being unnecessarily racist.
Yeah, there's a
Right.
time and a place.
I was like, there's a time and a place. Not when you trying to get on a tram. Okay.
Okay.
We're all in our commute. We are trying to
My
get to
beauty
fucking work.
does not agree with any form of racism.
And anything
I
that
should
we
have
have
just
said.
said
Reverse or not?
unprompted. That's what I meant.
Sorry.
Christ
Yes.
almighty.
I should have just said unprompted. That's what I meant.
No, I think. Hey,
Now I'm sweating it up in here.
No,
Nah.
Said something controversial.
Speaking of interested tram drivers, I was coming home the other
Please.
night. I was on the tram, and I see this guy on my. I've seen this guy. He looks like Colonel Sanders. Not even joking.
Fantastic,
He's got the
fantastic.
handlebars, and he always wave it. Like he will be near the Simone, so he always wave at kids and stuff in a nice way. I'm hoping. And anyway, so I was on the tram, and I had my headphones in, and I was only hearing bits. He was just wanted to chat. He was just talking over the microphone in the tram, and he said something about it's I don't know, testicular cancer week or something. And he goes, you know what? It's time we really have. He just goes off. You're testicularly inclined. Because he said so. Oh, you can't say that anymore. I'm like, oh, and then he was basically saying, if you're testicular inclined, and I'm like, oh, that's an interesting way to say it. And then he's just like, you know what? Sometimes it's good to just ask your friends how's it hanging. And he goes, you know what? What? This is at like 10:30 at night, going home. And then and then it was. I was like, I'm just going to turn my headphones up. I'm not whatever. And then it cuts here. I was listening to a podcast, whatever. It lowers, and he goes, oh, this is the perfect time to turn to the person next to you on the train and just practice asking how's it hanging so you can talk to your loved ones about testicular cancer. And I'm like, stop saying testicular cancer, please, sir, and drive the fucking tram. It was an odd experience for a Sunday night.
I think you got caught up in his stand-up routine. I
was-
feel like he's
Yeah.
practicing
He
on you
was-
guys.
oh, that's a great place to try your
Yeah.
stand-up. Try type 5.
No one
10:30
could
at night
leave.
on the
Just
tram.
on repeat on the
Yeah.
whole fucking way down the Werribee line, baby.
Yeah, there we
Sick.
go.
No one could leave unless
Yeah.
they can. But
We're going all the way Werribee.
Yeah.
That's the joke. Got him. I don't like the term testicularly inclined.
I wrote it down somewhere. I'll see if I can find it.
I'm just
Okay.
thinking that I don't think any people with testicles would be like, man, I'm all about this shit, because they are just.
No,
it
it
is
was
such a vulnerable,
he was- 'cause he
stupid
was-
thing to have on your body.
Yeah, right.
massive.
Bit of a liability.
Exactly. It's a
Yeah.
evolutionary failure to put those delicate things on the outside.
Yeah.
They should be wrapped up in like a little bone egg, so they're
No,
safe.
here we go.
Calcified
Cocooned
cocoon.
away
He didn't
somewhere
say- he
deep
didn't say
inside.
testicularly inclined. He said, if you are testicularly equipped, make sure to
Okay,
find out
okay.
how they are hanging. That's what he said. I sent that to a friend on my
That makes more sense.
Um,
I am not testically inclined.
yeah, so it was
Not a
just
fan.
because I didn't hear what he first said, and he was like, "You can't say that." And he goes,
Right.
"If you're testicularally inclined." Anyway, we should.
It's an interesting one when you have like older people that are then they think they're skirting around something really delicate, like some testicles that are hanging a bit off to the left, and they say something like stupid. They say something like, oh, "I bloody can't say that anymore," and they haven't actually said anything bad. They're just they're going through through the
know a
motion.
couple people like that.
Well, they're just they feel upset about the fact that things are different, and so they're finding any reason to target
I just-
that
yeah.
perceived difference.
the idea of just saying, "Oh, you can't say that." I'm like, you didn't say, and you just said
Yeah.
like,
testicles.
just relax,
Yeah.
you
Like-
know?
Yeah.
Just calm down.
Also, you're driving a tram. Don't talk about testicles.
Yeah.
And don't ask people on the. That was more. You can't say anything anymore. I'm like, you probably don't tell people on the tram to talk to strangers about testicles. How about that, sir?
Yeah, that's
just
very,
fry your
very
chicken
valid.
and leave us alone. So I'm just practicing your comedy now. Any excuse?
We've had a few poets who come through who are of older generations who are like, oh bloody hell, I'm gonna do some poetry that's really gonna rile people up. Anyone who's
If
like,
you don't like it, I don't give a shit.
yeah, if you're easily triggered, get the fuck out. And they just do like the tamest. It's good. It's just, but it's not
bad,
at
but
all
it's
inflammatory.
poetry.
And everyone's like, oh, I got ready for some
Because it was
racism.
like he swore or something, or they swore. It was
Oh.
like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, have you heard the traumatic shit the
Yeah.
person just went before you to hear the horrific trauma they went through? They didn't swear, but then you just went, oh shit, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
I doubt old mate, and I say this all with love. But I doubt old mate who we're talking about listens to this podcast. But like, he's come down hard on the Catholic Church a few times. But that's his whole shtick.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a shtick.
This is reality.
It's a very serious reality that he has lived.
Okay.
Is the reason he is responding. I'm not going to go into that. But coming down the Catholic Church, clearly for his upbringing, was like, you do not speak ill of the Catholic Church. So like, hey, I'm gonna say some shit, and if you don't like it, get out. It's like, we are a bunch of lefties, like queers
The
and
most
POCs.
offensive
Like,
thing he's ever said,
there's
though,
nothing gonna be here. Nothing.
which is keeps calling me Jacob.
That's the funniest shit to me. That's the funniest fucking shit.
For 2 years
Yeah.
now. And so I'll be sitting over there. You can't,
that's so
anyway,
good.
I'll be sitting where I sit. And he's got one about radio talk and how it's a nice spot, nice place, and all that stuff. Then he goes, and Jacob behind MC, and all the crowd looks at me, just goes, what? And I just go, just let him talk. There's no point. And I'm like, because I haven't even gone, hello everyone, I'm Jason, your MC, and he's just like, nah, Jacob, you know what? That's cool.
Direct eye contact.
And he's just like, yeah. It's
He's got like a son called Jacob, like a long lost son, Jacob, and he's like projecting.
Yeah, there we go.
I've just learned to just enjoy it now.
Yeah, ride the wave.
Ride the Jacob wave, baby.
Yeah.
Amutha, you are currently working with a new trio for the past like 6 months, maybe a little bit longer than that.
Thereabouts.
Yeah.
Thereabouts.
And you've come from a place of being a solo artist, producer, singer, rapper, mixing engineer, mastering engineer, visual artist,
Damn.
performer,
Labels.
bringing the theatrics to the stage. And then also you went to a full band. I want to talk about the different...
None of that.
Scrap that all.
Thoughts on the... No, I haven't actually. Couldn't think of anything terrible. Yes, ending. I wanted to talk about like kind of the different mindsets that you're in when leading a band. Because you were a true band leader. That was the first thing that I was like just taken aback by when I saw you perform with the band for the first time. I haven't seen a true band leader like this in a little while.
Oof.
You were commanding of the band, instructional for the audience of what they need to provide to you, what you're going to provide for them. There's a transaction there in terms of what they're here for. What is the mindset when you're leading a band versus when you are a solo artist doing literally everything?
Oh, okay. So we chatted a little bit before this, and I will mention what we chatted about, which was that I think I was kind of hiding behind a band for a long time. I didn't have that much confidence in my solo stuff, and I didn't have confidence in the way it was set up for live performance. And I know that it's pretty common in our generation for people to just jump up with a beat, like people that we really respect, but they're at this level where they don't need the theatrics of having a backing band. Them alone, their presence alone is the thing that's, guiding the audience. But I think at our level, you get less street cred if you rock up and you press play on your phone and you sing along to it, It just doesn't, it's not a good look. So I think,
hence why a lot of people have DJs.
For sure, exactly, which is actually something that I am utilizing.
Yeah.
Because it's great to have that support up there, and it's good to have someone you can kind of bounce off as well. So yeah, I do think that I loved the band. It was great, so much fun. It's amazing to be able to collaborate and not have to be completely self-reliant for all of the elements of the live scene. But at the same time, like with Damn Fine Chai, I love Damn Fine Chai, but the music, I guess, was leaning in a direction that I knew could do well in a general sense. And I think I was fine with that, but I guess the more I thought about it, I was like, this isn't actually what I want. This is not what I want to create. I want to make weird shit.
Yeah.
Like, I love weird shit.
I've seen you make nothing else.
Yes, exactly. So it's
in the nicest way possible.
No, for sure. I didn't want to make stuff that's just going to be played on Triple J. No offense,
Some offense. Fuck Triple J.
Cool, great. We're on the same page on that one. But yeah, so I was like, you know what? I started making stuff with Dave Machine, shout outs, and then we got
the Machine.
Yeah, he's an absolute beast of a human. The kind of person that like like allows their boredom to drive them towards deep creativity.
That's what we all want.
I like that.
Oh, so amazing. When he gets bored, he doesn't just like binge a show. He's like, let me learn how to stitch.
Yeah.
Let me learn how to play the drums. Let me learn how to play the bass. Let me learn how to like use AI in order to create these images that I want for this particular thing. Like,
Yeah.
so he's just like that kind of person that just constantly wants to learn new habits and sees the value of all the time that he has outside of work. So him and I started to make some chunky drum and bassy kind of like glitchy neural stuff. And then Georgia, DJ Energy Freak, joined us as well on the saxophone. And now we have our little trio and we play together and that's a lot of fun. But even still, like, I think that's the thing that's resonating with me most right now is the solo stuff. And it's like kind of, I keep getting taken back. So the thing is, for some people, the band stuff works.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Follow that, pursue that. For other people, it feels like it's more effort than it's worth. And I think that's really where I'm coming to with it.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, I've been putting too much time and energy into organizing these individual components to come together to play this gig or to record this stuff. And I'm quite self-sufficient. Like, I get stuff done. If you send me a beat, I'll have you something by tomorrow, So, yeah.
I feel like there is that, because being on stage with a band, and I feel very much in the same place right now. I have, and I've had chats with people who, so when I've played a couple of sets, 2 sets with my band backing my music, and we have an EP on the way of our collective music, and it's so good. I'm so excited for that project, but there's also just like, someone's sick on a day, so we can't record this day. Someone's sick on another day, we can't record this day. Someone's had something else come up. Someone's flying all around the globe doing other stuff. There's things that just push things back, and I'm the same. I love being able to sit down on my computer. I have a microphone, I got a keyboard, I got a guitar, and I have a sample library. I'll get an album to you within the week. Give me the time, I'll fucking go for it. And I really like that mentality and that process of just like smashing it out, moving on to the next thing. But then there is that energy that the audience responds to a lot, and that we can also feed off as performers, having that band on stage, which is maybe unparalleled. The solo stuff on stage is a place that is hard to try and hit that same high note.
If you can nail being on stage on your own, if you can carry that performance, you're a legend. Like, you really are. Like, you become one of those people that are undeniable. Shout outs to Kudos for that specific word. He said, "Are you undeniable?" And I was like, not even close.
I think of all performers that we know, that you are a particular performer in that sense of like,
not undeniable though.
I would say you are undeniable. I would say you are undeniable.
That is crazy. Nah.
You are a wholly unique character on stage and commanding of the stage, and while at the same time being very organic on the stage. Like, there's a difference between being like, I know my lines. When I say this, you say that, going through the motions on stage. Just like doing I've seen people perform before, and I'm doing that.
I think, organic is the right word for the.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate
like
it.
with the when you did Tones a couple of weeks ago.
A lot of fun.
Which will be releasing soon. You can catch it on YouTube on this very channel.
Cheeky plug for Toads. It was still very much you didn't overshadow, like, because you're the singer, but you didn't overshadow the other two on stage.
That's awesome to hear.
Because
it's hard to know where your place is when you do have two individuals up there with you.
But it also helps too, because you'll have Mr. Machine doing the beats, and then you'll be singing, and all of a sudden you just let your vibe, and then this fucking saxophone comes in out of nowhere. You're like, I didn't know I needed this. with this kind of more hip hop thing. I didn't know, but you know what? This is exactly what it needed.
Always
and
needs more saxophone.
Kind of like, then you go, okay, Amutha's singing, but that's that. That's nice about the sax, but the sax now coming in is exactly what I need. Now I'm listening to the sax with the backing track with the vocals, but the sax is taking over at this
Yeah.
moment, and then it kind of just from the couple of times I've seen you perform, you guys is it all you perform it's very much one. It's sort of you focus on one person, and then the next person sort of just takes over when they need to, and it's not like. It doesn't feel like anyone's overshadowing anyone.
That's awesome.
These are thoughts I'm just having right now.
I can see it.
Yeah,
I can see it.
Look at me. Look at me processing things.
In that space, though, actually, you see, like, there is a consideration of like, oh, I don't want to step on anyone's toes here. You know, when you're on stage by yourself, this is my show. I'm calling every single shot.
Totally.
Which is also a lot of pressure on yourself.
Right.
Because then if you're not feeling it that day, you're like, okay, I got to bring this massive amount of energy.
Right.
Don't have it. So that can be easier with a band, easier to just like, well, we're all feeling a bit shit, but that's four people feeling a bit shit, still doing the show.
But let's be real.
Yeah.
You're still the front person.
This
of
is
the
my question.
band.
This is my question, because like I feel like with bands, a difficult part of it is being able to take those roles and understand what everyone's needs are in the band, because like, yes, there is that wariness of like, oh, am I going to be the front person that is just the entire presence? Am I going to step on anyone's other toes? But at the same time, do those same band members, some of those band members might be like, I don't want the microphone ever handed to me.
Yes.
I'm just here to play this one thing.
Yeah. Well, Dave doesn't mind
Yeah.
having the microphone handed to him, and he's always great when he does. Georgia doesn't want it at all.
Yeah.
The thing is, that day for Tones, I was feeling fine, and then I got on the stage and I started freaking out.
Right.
And you can totally tell at the beginning of the set, but it's okay.
Nah, not to the audience.
It's so wild to me. And so then, but then in that moment, knowing that I couldn't rely on one of my bandmates to just like hand the mic over to was also kind of like impacting me a little bit.
Sure.
Because I've just intuitively not handed the mic to Georgia. And then I asked her that night, I always forget, do you want to chat? And she's like, your intuition's right. Don't ever hand it to me.
Sometimes you just
You can
know.
tell.
But then also, it's nice
to just confirm.
It's good to have that communication for sure.
Yeah.
But I think, like, from my personal opinion, is like if you're fronting, if you're the lead vocalist or whatever, and having a band or couple of members or whatever, is that I meant, kind of the night itself as well. It's that you're more responsible for going, oh, this is Dave here, blah blah, and giving them the kudos that they need, and this Georgia, going like, well, she's not going to talk, but like. Not that way, but like, she's mute, but it's okay. She plays a mean saxophone. But it's like you kind of giving, well, everyone, give it up for Georgia, give it up for Dave, that kind of thing, and then sort of interacting on stage and that kind of thing, and then not taking all the, not taking all the spotlight and that kind of thing. I think it's up to the front person really.
Yeah,
it is the role. It is the role, and I think I've done it to people, not even necessarily on stage, even on podcasts and stuff like that. Like, invite people onto podcasts and be like, "Hey, do you want to come on the podcast and talk some shit?" And they're like, "Whoa, maybe. Can we? I need questions prepped. I need everything ready to go." I'm like, "What? You can't just like talk some shit behind a fucking microphone?" And I remember like. This is a particular skill set. It's a funny skill set to have, of like being able to just talk some fucking shit on the microphone or jump on stage and perform and run that stage. And not everyone has any desire to do that.
Oh yes, I was just in the conversation. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? Exactly. Like, I think, like, if you're a good conversationalist and you can just keep a chat going, generally that just translates over to podcasting. Like, I don't see it as being any different, but then people hear podcast and they think, oh my God, it's this legit thing. I want to sit down. It's going to be like blah, blah, blah. But
true. Yeah, right.
Really no different. I don't think people understand. It is just, at least in this context, it's just a conversation.
Yeah, of course. And if you get to a higher place in podcasting, then you have editors who actually will cut down the conversation to be actually good.
And you have producers who will
yeah.
like shout topics from behind the desk
Yeah,
if you
absolutely.
get stuck.
Yeah.
We've had a few people and he was like, "Oh, what do I do?" I'm like, "Hold the mic
Yeah.
and talk."
This is the lowest tier.
It's
Like,
been-
there's no
it's been like-
stakes.
I think it's been like 3 times when we had to be like, "Okay, we'll start again," or
It's always
we'll cut
me.
something out. Yeah,
It's always me that starts again, though.
yeah. I'm yes anding, and you're just like, "Nah, we gotta."
Yeah. Sometimes they hit that wall. Sometimes I don't know. I don't know what to say about it.
You know. But yeah, I think I had a thought and it's just gone, so we could move on from that one.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Solo stuff and art stuff. I was actually going to ask you, like, so the kind of configurations that I've been in a band with have been about the band making music together, whereas you've got the band making music together, but then you also had a show where you did your own project, and I'm wondering if it feels different in terms of acknowledging the band when you're doing your solo stuff versus when you're doing a collective performance.
Hard to say because I don't think we, as a band, have played our material, and even the material that we have that is technically the band's material is only like it's me and Ethan, the keyboard player, sit down, we write the music, and then we get them to sprinkle the flavor on top.
Okay.
So there's still this, which I think is actually how bands work, and this frustrates the hell out of me, especially when I was younger. I worked with musicians, friends. I worked with friends of mine who were just like, they had the romantic idea of what a band is. Like, we're going to sit in a room together and we're going to write this material. So it's like there's 4 people in a room. We each write 25% of this music, and then we are all equal. And like that's
That sounds horrible.
yeah. It's
Absolutely.
you're.
I mean, it sounds great if it works, but like that's just horrible.
It is 1 in a million, I think, for that to happen. And there have been songs that I have written with bands that have happened that way, but that is not how the majority of them work.
But to have
even
every
within
song
that
like
band.
that,
Exactly.
Like, yeah, you might have 1 or 2 songs, but have an EP or an album on every 12 songs was done 25% out of 4 people.
Doesn't happen.
Nope.
It's almost always there's a songwriter and then there's the band, and they all kind of chip in. And even if it is like I wrote the song and then you write the bass line, you put the drums to it, you put the guitar to it, it's sort of 25%, but there's somebody who is steering. There is somebody at the wheel, and everyone else is in the same car.
Well, I don't know if I completely disagree because there might be some crossover with what you're saying, but most of the time I've done stuff with the bands. We've just jammed. So we've just played together, and then if there's like a nice riff that we've come up with, we lock that in and then make it into a song.
I think there's certain styles, and if you're jamming, it's a lot easier. But
I guess there is someone that does take the lead on doing things in general, though, and that tends to land on the person whose face is attached to the band, essentially.
Which I think is important to recognize. I think it's important with, but it's definitely it's definitely not all bands. It's definitely not every setup. It is.
Hashtag not all
bands. I was trying to avoid saying it, but it wanted to be said. I just don't. Yeah, I think it's just don't romanticize it. I think if you go into a particular band
For sure.
and you're like, oh, that's not how this one's operating, and it needs a leader, then by God, you got to have a leader. Otherwise, it falls apart. And I've been doing it for a long time, been in a lot of bands, and they've all fallen apart. And it's not a problem with the band. Like that's it's just how it is. You're getting 4 people into a room to express themselves and to work together in this capacity. It's like, how many bands can we actually think of that have lasted for ever? The Stones are like actually an anomaly. Like I've given the Stones a bunch of shit before because they just feel like they play they play the hits and it's fine. Or like the Foo Fighters, you know. But like watching interviews with those guys, they just fucking love playing gigs. They just fucking love the life of being a band. And that's an anomaly, I think.
I don't disagree with you.
Bottom of the industry, no experience. I don't know.
I mean, we have observation, and I agree. Yeah, like it's hard to not just form a band actually, but to keep it going. And the thing is, if you're collaborating with a bunch of other creative people,
Mhm.
chances are they have other creative projects going on. And this
Yeah.
is why it tends not to work out, because everyone's kind of just doing their own thing.
Yeah. And they've got lives, and they've got
Yeah.
and also a band doesn't pay most of the time. You know, so it's
Oh,
just
no.
like if it was a paycheck, it was like, hey, I'm going to pay you $100,000. I'm going to pay you like a proper fucking wage
Mm,
to do this.
right.
Then I'm sure a lot of people will be like, yeah, I'll be there.
Yes.
I'll show up and I'll put in
Exactly.
25%.
Yeah.
They'd be like, hey, can we do one jam maybe every 3 weeks? Oh wait, one person's sick. Okay, we'll do it
Yeah.
in 2 months. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just life with
The way it
with
is.
bands.
Mhm.
But I will say, actually, having a band behind me playing my stuff, I want to give them all the props. That's the place where I don't want to, like, I enjoy, there's a real freedom. There's a real freedom
Interesting.
because, like, I don't have to hide behind my production. I don't have to think about my production.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Right.
these guys, they got it. They're bringing something better than my production. And I get to just play the role of, like, all I got to do is rap and talk to the audience and then give these guys
Cool.
props.
Yeah.
That's why I love the only two times I've played with the band, I've fallen into a bit of a signature move, which is like we end on this big jam, and then I just say, all right, guys, peace out. I'm gonna fuck off. Let's let these guys do their thing for a little while.
so
And I
good.
walk off stage and I let the band do
Yeah.
their thing because, like, no, these guys are better. These guys are better. I'm just rapping, man. These guys are killing it.
Yeah.
Well, I remember I formed at your EP, and it was the first time
Album launch.
album launch, so whatever. At your thing that you did with music.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, I was there, and it was the first time I ever did anything with a band.
Ah,
And
yeah,
yeah. So I obviously knew the beat, but then I was pissing myself because I was like so nervous. I'm like, when do I come in? Blah blah blah. And then I realized that it's not a track, so the band can just keep playing.
Yeah.
Like I can come in because Rye didn't say the final line, and my brain's like, okay, now I have to count through. And then I realized that I realized because you get the video's hilarious. I notice it because Rye finished, and I just go, fuck, boom, and I go into it. But I realized that they can just keep playing, and
Yeah.
that's like, you can interact with people because. You can have a track, but you have to then make a beat or get a beat that has extra music to it. So you can be like, hey, how's it going? Whereas if you have a band, your drummer just keep the beat, you can just be like, okay, this is going to keep going for another minute. I'm just going to talk. And then it's the same beat.
Yeah.
And so that's where then eventually, once I did my thing and then went off stage, I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have been worried because I could have just gone, chill for a second, wait for the beat to
Yeah.
come back into my head and go, okay, I can come in whenever I want. But I was still thinking of it
That's
as a track going, well,
Right.
as soon as you press play, it's got 3 minutes and then it stops. And so you can't, there's no wiggle room to do anything.
That's why I like the band.
Yeah,
That's
and then
why
I
like
just
having a band
realized
on
that
stage.
because they when I finished my verse, Rye didn't go straight into it, I don't think, and you just
No.
got to chill for it. And I'm like, I was like, motherfucker, what are you doing? Like, in my head, I'm like, we're scheduled. Like, that's not what it sounds like on Spotify. And I'm like,
Yeah.
hang on. Because my brain's just going, well, no, this is exactly how it's supposed to
Yeah.
be.
And that's what I'm looking
And
for
then-
in a
And then I just
this
opened.
motherfucker.
What are you doing
This is
early?
Yarrow fucking popping in. All right.
Wait, okay.
That's
Yeah, it just it was just this extra. This takes the pressure. So if it
Yeah.
ever happens again, I'll be like,
you'll be relaxed.
I'll be more like, okay, well, I can
Yeah.
if I am freaking out of when to come into a song, whatever. I
that.
can just be okay. Well, these motherfuckers can
That's
play
what
for
I'm
several
looking-
minutes. If I
That's what
wanted
I'm
to.
looking for in a band, and
Yeah.
I've played in bands where it's more rigid, where it's like we play the song exactly like this, and if you fuck up, you're being left behind basically, or like you've ruined it. And I like a band that's jamming.
Yeah,
Jamming
jammy bands
band.
are so
Like a
much
jam band.
fun.
Jammy
jamming.
bands.
I hate that song so much. We're jamming, but
I wanna jam it with you.
I hate it. Oh, it's just songs
Jam
that
it
are
with Jimmy. Yes.
it's cheesy as hell, and I
Hope you
don't.
like
we'll get copyright
jamming
struck.
too.
In general, I'm not a fan of music of songs that just talk about
Jam.
music. It frustrates me.
Okay. Fair.
Pet peeve. I don't know the strawberries. Paul.
Yeah.
Okay.
Paul
Paul's
off
talking off
mic.
mic.
Cranberries.
I've talked to him. I've had a chat with him. He's not.
There's
We're gonna get him a mic at some point. Oh,
no.
You got to give him a roaming mic so he
Yeah,
can say
yeah.
things as he's walking around doing
Nah, but
stuff.
it'll be a
And we can
nightmare.
turn it off.
yeah. I need a mute button. He's still, but I'm not going to edit the camera audio into that.
That's fine.
So
That's just give a
um,
perception.
that's what I'm looking for anyway. When I see live music, I do want it to be actually
related.
live. I want it to
Yeah.
be jam related. I want it to be jam. I just want to hear jamming every single time.
Yeah.
Jam.
And it is harder when you've just got the beat behind you.
Totally.
And I do, we've already said, but I do think that you are phenomenal at making it a performance and interacting with the audience. You always tell stories and stuff like that. I think that's a huge part.
Thank you.
Because you got to. You got to when it's just your beats behind you.
Yeah.
You know, with the band,
there's way
you
more
want to see
freedom,
some people fuck up. You want to see them interacting with the band, trying a little thing. You want to see stank face. You want to see the band going like, oh,
Yeah.
it's filthy.
Everyone just turns to the guitar player. They're like,
Yeah.
what?
When the band looks almost disgusted and angry at a musician, that means they're killing it.
Yeah.
Too much
The
jam.
highest compliment.
They've over-jammed it.
Yeah.
They've reached the jam quota for the day.
And mentioning jam quota, I think we've also hit the podcast quota. That's where we're wrapping it up.
Mama laid
Hell
it
yeah.
to rest. Oh, that's terrible.
Amutha, thank you so much for being
yes.
on the podcast.
Thank you for having
True
me.
legend.
It was a lot of fun.
Music by
True
Six
video
Fans.
OG.
Oh.
He's not. We do need.
Ryan's going to put links down below.
Do you have anything that you want to promote or talk about that you've got coming up?
Not really.
Conspiracy
You got
theories.
Tones is coming out soon.
Tones,
is coming out
VU
soon.
Tones. Check it out. It's going to be good. All the performers were incredible that night.
Especially that Rhath guy. That goes.
He was probably my favorite.
3 out of the 4 were first one had their shit sorted. That was good.
Yeah. Hey, actually, speaking about that, if you like what Vibe Union does, the reason my shit fucked up at Tones and the reason
Look at this
that we
segue.
need that
Didn't even mean it.
Patreon money is because this laptop is really on its last legs.
I saw.
It takes a little while to warm
Buttons weren't working.
up. Buttons weren't working. The screen is just all black for a little while. So if you want to subscribe to our Patreon, it would really help us
Well,
out.
we need it for other stuff, not just Rise laptop.
Hey, if you want this podcast to keep going, we need a laptop.
Yeah,
So-
true. Yeah, if the 6 of you want to keep have this going, then you know.
Hey,
Yes.
Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Music by Sixpence. I think I already said that. Thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.